It's your boy Youceethrillz doing a live on YouTube. I don't normally do this, but I decided I was gonna start doing them. I want to interact with you guys, really have a good conversation. I know a lot of times there's a lot of comments that I can't always respond to. I try to respond to them as much as I can. But here on this live, if you guys start joining my lives more frequently, we could have more in-depth conversations. Again, it's just so I can interact with you guys more. So in this live, I'm gonna be working on some boxing, teaching y'all some beginner fundamentals. Probably be on here for maybe 30, 40 minutes. It's 7:30 p.m. right now. I might cut it off around 8 o'clock, 8:10, depending on how the live goes. But just giving y'all a heads up. So let me see how the camera looks here. I'm gonna move this camera down a bit. All right, y'all. I just need to make sure that y'all can see my full legs, full feet, because I really want to show y'all the boxing stances properly. So one thing I always say when it comes to boxing, there's never one way of doing things. Sometimes coaches will tell you that's wrong. You got to do it this way or no way. And I don't believe in that. I believe everybody has their own style. The reason I say that is you can watch boxing and you can see everybody got their own style. You can see Sugar Ray Leonard fights different than Mike Tyson. Muhammad Ali fights different than Floyd Mayweather. Roberto Duran fights different than Terrence Crawford. These guys all fight different. So I can teach you different stances. I can teach you how to be orthodox. I can teach you how to be southpaw. I can teach you how to fight with your hands low. Teach you how to fight with your hands tucked the traditional way. Teach you how to fight a little bit more bladed, more in a Philly shell. If you want to be on that, if you want to be a slugger, a brawler, and be in that Mike Tyson, you could be that. But again, what I specialize in is gonna be more on a traditional boxing stance. How you doing, Clayton Game? You came to the live just in time, brother, because I'm gonna be explaining boxing. If you're interested in learning how to fight, learning how to box, stand up, stand up right now. You could practice at home. Y'all could practice with me, literally at the same time. I want everybody to stand up, getting a boxing stance. If you don't have a boxing stance, this is gonna be a boxing stance right now. This is what you should always do. Make sure that your feet are about shoulder width apart. So you see my shoulders. Y'all can't really see my feet too well, but my feet right here, right here. It's the same thing. You get what I'm saying? Same thing right here. I'm hungry for pizza. Said hi. How you doing? All right. So like I said, shoulder width apart. My shoulders are a little bit kind of wide for my weight. So I like to keep my feet just a little wide. Boom. My front foot. I'm gonna move this camera so you can see my front foot a little better. My front foot. Y'all can see it, right? Boom. Look at that front foot. It's not straight like this. Some coaches will tell you to keep it straight. I prefer to have it at a little bit of a tilt. Same with the back foot. This back foot doesn't need to be straight. The back foot you want to have with a tilt as well. The reason why you want to do that, the rest of the reason why you don't want to do that is it's simple. If I keep it straight, this is good for direction, but at the same time, my body is square. You don't want to be square in boxing. Boxing is all about angles. This is why I say my favorite math was always geometry, because geometry has to do with angles, and it translates into boxing pretty well. If I'm straight like this and you punch me, I am clear. I have an open target in my body, my face. I will get hit. How you doing? I'm on a live stream. You live stream, you're going to have to. So yeah, so yeah, you will get you will get hit if your body is too straight. You want to be at an angle. So let me fix this camera. Body's too straight, you will get hit. Like I said, feet slanting, legs slanting. Another thing, You want to make sure that you drop the knees. If you stand too straight, you will get hit every single time. If I'm straight like this, I'm gonna get hit. If I drop the knees, I'm not gonna get hit the same way. Also, if I'm standing up straight like this, I don't have any power. I could punch, but I'm reducing at least 50% of my power. Power is all from the legs and the hips. So you drop the knees like this, and you can really get more power, more rotation in the hips. Another thing too, you don't want to be flat-footed. Okay, look at the feet. Look flat-footed like this, can't even move that well. Somebody could rush you, somebody could hit you. But if you stay on your toes, balls of your feet, you can move a lot better. You could be more elusive because we're not glued to the ground. So that's something else to be mindful of. Can you do Muay Thai? I don't teach Muay Thai. But some of these can be applied to Muay Thai because at Muay Thai, I don't think you should be flat footed either. But again, I think for most mixed martial arts, unless you're doing wrestling, that should be the only time you should be flat footed because you need that base. In case somebody tried to take you down, you would just stay flat. But if you're boxing, doing Muay Thai, I believe you should be on your toes with the balls of your feet, being able to move like this. Because you need to be able to watch out kicks. If you're doing Muay Thai for boxing, you make sure that you can dodge the punches. You don't want to be glued to the ground. Like I said, only a wrestler should be glued to the ground because he has to be able to be ready for those takedowns. So other thing too, you see how I got my arms like this? Some people, they keep their arms wide. That's not typically what you're supposed to do, but a lot of people do it because it's more comfortable. If you're gonna keep your arms wide or have your arms like this, your punches become more predictable. You don't want to be predictable. If you're predictable, anyone could basically telegraph what you're gonna do. So you want to always keep your elbows tucked in, no matter what your stance is. If you're gonna be straight, you're gonna keep tilted, slanted, whatever you're doing, shoulder roll, elbow need to be tucked in. At least you're protecting your body. And if your elbows is tucked in, every punch comes out straight, just like this. You have your elbows like this, you, you see, you can look at my elbows. You can be my opponent and watch my elbows all day. And as soon as they start to turn like that, you know I'm gonna throw something. So now I become predictable. I'm easy to beat. So that's why you always want to keep the elbows tucked in. Now, when it comes to the hands, a lot of people don't know how to throw a punch correctly. A lot of people don't even know how to clench a fist correctly. Your hands are open like this. When you're a little more advanced, you could play around with your hands open like this. You're a beginner, you don't want to build that habit. As a beginner, you want to know how to make a fist. Your fist should not look like this. Your fist should look like this, thumb tucked. See, the thumb is tucked. Look at the knuckles. And look at the fist. My wrists are not like this. My wrists are straight and firm. Boom. If I have it like this and somebody hits me, I'll hurt my wrist. But if I have it like this, somebody could hit my wrist, but my wrist is solid. It's strong. So you want to practice that. That's a simple thing, just to prevent any damage. Make sure that your hands, the fists are like this. Again, there's different ways you could be in different stances. You could have your front out like this, or the back one is right here, or you could be having them right here together with a slight lean, slight tilt, or you could be straight if you want to. Again, it all depends on what feels better for you. But it comes down to when you're throwing your punches, you want to make sure those elbows are tucked at the end of the day. Straight, elbows are tucked, jab, elbows are tucked. You also want to make sure that when they punch you, they're turning. If you just punch straight like this, you don't really fully get all the power. And when you turn, you land differently. Your opponent could feel it differently. People who land people who land punches with the fist turning versus people who land with the fist straight. There's a difference. The guys who land with the fist straight don't land knockouts the same way as the guys who turn. And when you turn, you want to make sure that it's the last bit of those knuckles that's really connected. Not this one as much. You want to really make sure it's these. Um, that's what's doing the damage. A lot of people don't know that. Another thing too, defense, right? There's many different ways that you can block a punch. A lot of people think that blocking punches is always just laying back, slipping, slipping. Sometimes it's really just as simple as blocking a punch right here. The punch comes and your hand is right here. It's a block. Comes right here and your hand is right there. That's a block. If it comes straight and you catch it, that's a block. Catching it, parrying. These are all forms of defense because the punch is not hitting you. All you're doing is moving it out the way, or you're just catching it, moving it out the way, catching it. It's easy. You're not wasting any energy. Like I said, you got it right here, you got it right here, got it right here, right there. A lot of different options. And you can always step back as your alternative. Step back with the back foot first. You can always slip, but when you slip, you don't want to over exaggerate it. You want to be slipping this far out. It's not necessary. You don't want to be slipping this far out either. It's not necessary. You want to be making small slips, small slips, where you can still catch the openings. It's a small slip. And like I said, when you slip as well, I just made a mistake of doing it, and I have to always correct myself too. When you slip, you don't want to slip with the elbow open. You want to slip with it tucked, because somebody could fake you out, and you get hit right there. So you want to keep that elbow tucked, slip, slip, slip. So you're still protected. Boom, boom. You have options. Then you can always roll too. When you roll, it's also very simple. Somebody's coming with a hook, that's when you roll. A left hook, a right hook, you don't roll when they're throwing a straight, when they're throwing a jab. When they're throwing a straight, they're throwing a jab. Your options are everything I said before: block, carry, block, catch, parry, step back, slip, slip. Those are your options. But if they're throwing the hooks, you roll, roll. That's what you want to do. You want to be able to roll and pivot eventually and be able to land some combos. Roll and pivot and land combinations. I could teach y'all more about that in another live stream. But for this live stream, this is just the basics. Learning how to roll. You want to make sure that your legs are balanced. You can't roll from that balance. Right here, boom, boom, boom. Like I say, you pivot with it. You're still in a good place to build combos. Same with the right side. You're rolling, pivot with it. Still in a place to throw combos. Yeah. Boom. You don't just want to be avoiding and not countering. The game is to be hit. The game is to not get hit and hit. So you make them miss, you make them pay, or else it's just pointless. Another thing too, when you're throwing your jabs, you want to make sure that your jabs, you can do it two different ways. You could throw a jab from the chest, boom. You can throw a jab even lower, boom. But your jab should never come this low. Like right here at the lowest should be. But most of the time, you want to keep your jabs up here, around eye level, for defensive purposes. But then eventually, people can time it. They'll be like, okay, the jab's always coming from here. If it's always coming from here, that's when you switch it up, bring it down a little lower. Boom. They start picking that up, comes a little lower. They don't even see it coming. Boom. Throw the jab. You gotta throw them off. It's like a game of chess. You gotta keep them on their toes. If you start becoming too predictable, you're easy to figure out. You don't want to ever become easy to figure out. When you're throwing the jab too, you want to make sure that it's straight. It's not bent. See, this is a bent. This is bent. Look at the arms. It should be straight. Boom, boom, boom. And make sure that you stepping with it too. If you're not stepping with it, how you gonna do a jab? You're not stepping with it. Step straight and step diagonal. Diagonal is your safest option because you can still keep moving. But there'll be times when you gotta throw it straight. If they just moving back, boom, throw it straight. But most of the time, y'all in the middle of the ring, y'all fighting, or even in a street fight, you want to throw it back. And if you're a southpaw, you're a lefty who's fighting with your right foot in front. It's the same thing. You also come diagonal with it too over here. All right, y'all. I did lose some service. We're back. We're back. Um, I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all for watching. So yeah, like I was saying, man, when y'all throwing y'all jabs, you want to make sure that you stepping with it diagonally, coming straight from time to time. You don't always want to come straight. You don't always want to come diagonal because you get predictable. That's why I said this is a game of chess. You gotta always be able to switch it up. Then it comes to the right, step to the left, step back. There's a different way that you can, confuse somebody. And if y'all notice, if you look at how I have my hands, the way I teach y'all is not always how I'm gonna fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm teaching y'all textbook style to keep your hands right here. That's what I will always revert to if I'm fighting. But I do when I can drop my hands in. You know, for me, a little more comfortable. But I know I can always come back to this if I need to. Always come back to this. So another thing too, when it comes to footwork, people think you have to take large steps. You don't have to take large steps in boxing. That's not necessary. Actually, the larger step you take, the more off balance you are. If I take a large step like this, boom, at somebody, I am walking right into their hooks. Walking into their hook, walking into their straight, walking into every punch possible. Fight, taking those pictures. You want to learn how to take baby steps. You want to take the baby steps because you can still be protected. You're not off balance. You still have your offense, still have your defense. You get what I'm saying? If you're taking these large steps, you're going to be in a position where you might get hurt. Another thing, hooks. Let's talk about hooks. Everybody loves the left hook. Everybody loves the right hook. So this is how you want to throw your hooks, right? Hooks should always come from here. Boom, boom, boom. Hip rotation. If you throw on a hook like this, pow. Yeah, they got a little something to it, but that's an arm punch. Anyone could throw an arm punch, right? That's not much to it. You want to make sure it's coming from the hip. Now, if I come from the hip and use less arm, it feels different. The person who's taking that punch, they feel it differently. You get what I'm saying? It's more power, it's more quick, it's snappier. That's what you want. You want snappy punches. Everything should be a snap. Jab should snap. Straight should snap. Even when I throw the straight, it's a lot of hip rotation, not just that's nothing. But if I come with hit, there's a whole much more snap to it. Same with the left hook. We're coming with the snap. That's what we're looking for. Snap. Now here's another thing. If you're throwing the left hook, we throw it in two different ways. Actually multiple ways. But I'm gonna show y'all two different ways. So look, we're right here with it, right? Like I just said, I went with the straight, like where the arms are, protecting the body, right? The left hook, when I rotate, my arm is right here. There's no sign I'm gonna throw nothing. My arm is right here. There's no indication that I'm gonna throw a left hook. I'm right here, right? And then it comes out of nowhere. But if I can leave it right here, or if every time I throw a hook, my arms are like this, you're gonna know. Now back to what I was saying. There's two ways to do it. Like I just did it right now. Through the hook, look at my arm, straight, boom, and I'm pulling back, boom, boom. Why you want to pull back? To make sure that you're not gonna get hit. If I just throw it right here, I could still get hit. But if I pull back, there's less chance of me to get hit, and my shoulder's protecting me. My chin is under my shoulder. Boom. Chin should always be under the shoulder in boxing. If I throw it like this, I will get caught every time. So we want to boom, 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 boom. So now here's the other way. When you throw it a hook, you have it right here, or you can have it right here. Again, if you've ever had a coach, even if you watch YouTube videos, you will see people throw it differently. Some people throw it here, some people throw it here. Palm down, palm up. I prefer palm up. I feel like that's perfect when you're trying to land right here. The head is good for those shots. Boom. Palm down, I'd say is more for precision. Cause I can still land with a palm up, straight to the chin. Bam. But now I came with the palm down and I'm turning it too. Like I said earlier, you look turn those punches. Now I come and I turn it. Boom. Boom. That's a knockout. Your jaw is a very sensitive area to get punched. The jaw has several different nerves. So you hit one of those nerves, somebody's body could really just shut down. You know what I'm saying? That's why they say the chin is one area where you can get knocked out. Now, the right hook, which I mentioned earlier. The right hook, boom. See that? Boom. You could even do the same thing I just taught you. You could turn it this way. Boom. Here's a good measurement. Here's a tip for y'all who don't know. When you want to practice your hooks and you don't have a pad person, you don't have anyone to hold it for you, you don't know how to really measure if you're going too far, because you don't want to go too far. You want to look at your nose. Look where your nose is. You got your hand right here. If I throw the right hook, boom. That's where I should be stopping at. If I throw the left hook, boom, boom. You want to keep it snappy. If I go, come on, that's too far. If I keep it right here, it's the short punches that knock people out, not these coming all the way over there. None of that. That's not what's knocking people out. It might hurt, but it ain't knocking you out. This is what's knocking you out. That's the knockout punches. Work on that. Keep that hand right here. Don't let it pass the nose, middle of the nose. This is your line. This is your line. Use it. It's your guide. Another thing, uppercuts. When you throw an uppercut, it's different ways you can throw the uppercut. Some people like to wind it. Boom, boom. There's times for that. Boom, boom. But then there's also times where you want to just, where you have it right here. Boom, come straight up. Boom, right here. Boom, straight up. Boom. Different reasons for both. That one I just showed you was straight up. Let's say y'all on the inside. You inside fighting. Got your hand up. Got this sneaky little uppercut. Boom. Hand up. Sneaky little uppercut. Boom. 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 Right? That's your sneaky uppercuts. You at a distance. Somebody trying to come after you. They trying to get low. You might jab. Boom. See? Jab. Boom. Jab. Boom. Now, if I really want to trick it up a little bit, I could always go. I could switch it up. It all depends on the situation. What are they offering to me? What are they giving to me? How are they coming at me? And if they just coming straight like this makes sense to just go boom right here. Boom. Boom. But like I said, it's times when you want to switch it up. Come a little sneaky. You want to shoulder roll. Boom. Boom. So these are different options. We'll talk more in the next video. Make sure that y'all tune in. I'm gonna try to go live again, maybe sometime this week, if not